Hi there, welcome. Thank you for being here today. We're gonna dive on in, get you some clarity, see what's going on with the energy. This reading is timeless, so whenever you find it, it's the right time. Just see what resonates. If it doesn't feel like it's your message, it's for someone else. And always follow and trust that divine inner guidance that is in you, and try to make balanced decisions between I keep staring at that's big and bold. Logic and intuition. So your decisions are sound, based in love, and for the highest and greatest good of everyone. So we're all uplifted in love. Let's start with the mystery deck today and see what needs to come through. These messages are kind of all over the place. So let's get you a little clarity to get today and go with the flow. Let's see what God, Source, Holy Spirit, Christ consciousness, our higher selves, angels and energies of love have for the highest and greatest good of all. Maybe something was getting stuck. Maybe that was you or someone else. Maybe it's about getting organized. Let's see what would be helpful today for, maybe it's a divine timing thing. Of course, divine timing comes out first. So there's something happening. It is happening. It is working itself out. It's just off of your schedule. You know, maybe you can get a little feeling. So if something feels completely out of your hands, what can you put your time into currently where time goes away? What do you really enjoy doing? What can you put in the schedule today or plan for tomorrow that you feel really good about at the end of the day? Something that I am getting, something that you maybe were putting off. I hear proactive. So maybe you have to be proactive with something. I feel like something maybe like slipped out of your hands, an opportunity. I don't know exactly what that is. I kind of see a concert. Maybe this is just an energetic example, but it's like you got really excited that maybe your favorite band was going to be in your town or nearby, and then you look it up and it was last week. Like you kind of missed something by not that much time, and I feel like you're going to get another open door or go around, but you have to be a little proactive. So is there anything that you had discussed with somebody else, or you know, the idea that kind of made you feel sparkly at some point, but then you kind of put it on the back burner and didn't really get to it? I feel like you need to get back to that thing. There's something about this time it's going to work, or this time it's going to really flow. I see you now like surfing or like catching a wave. It's like before, it's like you discovered how to catch that wave. You learned to body surf, and you're making something so much easier in that movement than trying to swim upstream or just tread water and do it all by yourself. It's like you got a little momentum coming in. I feel energetically, or it could be help from others, but it could just be an overall change in your energy. All of a sudden something's flowing. But if there was anything and it's kind of like that watch got stuck, I feel like you need to redirect your energy to another wave of opportunity. Interesting. I got a lot of messages with that one card. And if there's nothing that you had a big discussion about before that you're like, I don't know what you're talking about, you know, wasn't any big thing that I was excited about, I feel like you're gonna either have, I don't know, something that really like, you're like, oh, that's really cool. Like it's gonna really interest you, and you're gonna want to get more information or want to dive into that rabbit hole, and or it will slip through in a conversation that you're gonna have with somebody else, and I feel like that conversation is coming pretty soon. So what are some more messages helpful for the collective that's watching this reading today to hear at the beginning of this reading? Please and thank you. That thing, either that new dream through that conversation or idea that you see, or that dream you put on the back burner, you put it under the bed, even if you felt like it was all organized, but you'll get back to it later. It is time to get to it. It's time to really take action on something. I am seeing that the time is now to get something grounded. I'm also seeing that for some of you, you've put a lot of effort already into something, but you were aggravated. I'm kind of getting like aggravation, frustrated because you didn't see it grow like you really thought it would. Because I feel like for some of you, you have been putting effort into something that you care about. Whether that's, I'm even getting maybe you have a relationship, but I feel like it's more for most of you a project. And don't get frustrated. There is something working out in that divine timing. There's something about the roots being a lot deeper than you can see on the surface of a situation. So trust that if something is taking a little extra time, it's because those deep roots, those strong roots on something are necessary so something can bring real abundance in your life. And if there's something you've been dreaming about for a long time, but you've never taken any steps towards that unfolding, working out, one step, one step makes a big difference. One step is one step farther towards that dream than you were before you took that step. So also sometimes that first step is the hardest one. And once you get that momentum, all of a sudden it gets easier. Let's see. Is there anything else from this little section of the mystery deck? Ooh, okay, that came through for a reason. So there is a little bit of jelly energy around you. I don't want to give that much attention, but I mean, if you have this dream that's really starting to manifest in your life, you're really starting to shine and sparkle, and you have this divine timing on your side. And I mean, you have somebody who's envious. They wish they had the, the oomph, the momentum, the talent, the tenacity, the naturalness. I hear the naturalness that you have. So there is someone overly focused on you. This person has to learn to change that jelly energy around and focus on themselves. But, 'tis life. If you're in this energy of success, you're going to have some people that are going to be like your fan club, and they're going to love you and support you, and you're going to have others that are in weird vibes. I feel like that's a them problem, not really a you problem. So is there anything else helpful from this section of the mystery deck? Well, that would be, that would be something that somebody would probably be a little envious of. This is not as common as most people think. It's usually something that somebody wants if you're thinking about a partnership or a relationship, but not everybody is in a partnership where they are really in love with that person and they're also besties at the same time. But that's such a solid, beautiful dynamic to be in. So if you are not in a partnership right now, or if there's someone in particular like really fits this mold, I feel like it's also something about it's not something that's set in stone. I feel like there's something flexible. Look at all that energy around this couple. There's a flexibility between you and this person to always sort of change the mold, change the settings, reboot when necessary. Definitely have good communication and get back on the same page. Maybe there's some people that are jealous of this relationship that you have, this particular dynamic. And if you're not in a friends and lovers kind of situation right now, then maybe now is the time where you work on yourself. You're grounding your own dreams to come true. You're just not even worried about that. We're going to just put that over there right now. And for some of you, this is maybe what's in the works in that divine timing down the road for you. But I keep hearing natural, but I feel like it is not something that's pushed. It's just like that tree, or like, you know, nature. It's something that will grow and unfold or come in kind of naturally. I don't know why I heard in the dark. In the dark, maybe you're in the dark about a certain person, or you're in the dark right now to know that there's something coming in. Maybe it's about that light turning on pretty soon. Maybe there was somebody else that was kind of lost. Yeah, well, you're only in the pregame. Don't worry. The big... That was so loud, and I looked at that at 11:11. Maybe something's going to come faster than you thought. You're just in the pregame. Right now is a good time where you can get yourself prepared, start to feel good about the time you spend with yourself. If some of you are meeting somebody right now, or you just met somebody, you got a beautiful romance novel love story ahead of you, and you're just, you know, you're just getting juicy right now. It's you haven't even gotten to the good stuff yet. So, ooh, that one's sticking in my hand. What was that? I saw luck. That just flew across the room. I'm gonna go grab it. Hold on. Oh yeah, you definitely have some good luck coming in, and you saw how fast and far that card flew. It was like across my room. So it's gonna come faster than you know. The faster than you know. I actually am looking at this. I'm looking at this pregame, and I'm thinking of, I don't know, like some kind of sport event on TV, and in that before the, you know, the pre-time, I'm not getting like something fun that's going on. I see like the really annoying commercials. So I feel like maybe there was like, you're like, I'm just gonna wait till the game. So maybe there was a little silence before the game began, but I don't know why I just saw like tailgating. Maybe if there's something that was kind of annoying you, it's sort of like that. Like, yeah, you know what? This scene over here is not really, you know, the commercial thing is not really working for me. Let's go out and like hang out in the back of the pickup. That's sort of what I see. Like, make it fun. If it's something wasn't really working out in the pregame, and you know something's coming fast, something's gonna happen fast, then bring that good luck to you. And, you know, put that time into something that feels like it's fun. So let's see if anything else. Maybe you're doing something, like I do see it, like a truck or something that maybe you're going on a trip or road trip. Maybe it's about packing for something. I actually see, I see like a ticket. So what else? What else would be helpful? Woo. I saw you like going on a trip or something. Maybe you need to buy the ticket for that adventure you've been thinking about. I like that you have an adventure coming through. Even if this is like adventures in Loveland, it's gonna be a fun ride. Adventure, if there's anything that excites you, like a little kid, where you're all antsy, like even to just think about doing it tomorrow, you're not worried about setting the alarm because you're so excited that you're just gonna naturally get up. You're already packed, you're ready to go. What is that? Or is there a certain place in the world? Is there a certain event that you've always wanted to go to? Or a certain, I did see sport or something like that, but maybe I'm getting a little more like an action sport thing. That's not for all of you, but maybe some of you want to do something like really out there, like skydive or adventure. I don't know why I see a zip line. Maybe even something like that, like a zip line Now I see a tree house. Maybe it's even like that. Maybe if some of you do have like children or grandchildren, maybe it's about having a little, I see, or maybe it's even an adult fort. I kind of see like that secret little fort, you know, in a tree house, where it's more like it's an adventure, but it's more like an adventure in imagination. Adventure. Let's see. Maybe some of you are building a tree house or just one of those like pillow forts, whether that is for your kids or, you know, grandkids, or that's for you and your honey, or you and your future friend and lover. Maybe it's having a little tent. Or maybe you're going camping or glamping, if that's more your style, or a hotel, if that's your style. What else would be helpful for the beautiful on my own? So if some of you are here and you're like, I don't know, you know, I'm not really in a partnership, or some of you are like, I'm not really into being in a partnership. I'm kind of good on my own here. I know how to have my own adventures, you know, working on that dream that, you know, is grounded and growing. This is an independent energy. I feel like it's also not comparing apples to oranges. There's no need to compare your dream, your journey, your chapter, your romance to anyone else. I'm getting talent with that for some reason. Beautiful on my own. For some of you, maybe you felt like you had to do something kind of like somebody else, or you were told that you have to do. I'm kind of getting more, it's not you, but somebody was telling you, like, no, maybe you should do it this way. Because I see that mold now. And somebody was almost trying to mold you into a certain structure or to be a certain way. And I feel like you break that mold. There's something better about your way, your expression, your uniqueness that doesn't compare to anyone else. So if you were trying to adjust yourself in any way to fit something specific, it's like you're the star and somebody was trying to squeeze you in a round, or I guess a star could go through a round hole. Let's say a square hole. There's something about that too. I don't know if that's an emblem or something. Is there something about a star in a circle? I don't know. Maybe that's important to some of you. I can kind of see it. But there's something about you still, even if you're in that shape, there's still something about how you are shaped or maneuver or express yourself differently, where it's still kind of like you're that star. So let's put the last little bit together. And I don't know if you can see these. Let me see if I can move this. A little better? A little better? We could be backed against the wall. Nobody puts baby in the corner. All right, let's continue. What else? Ooh, pay attention to something. There's something you need to pay attention to. I hear changes. How something is changing. I'm getting that you have to maybe pay attention to how you are unique at something and unlike others. I hope that made sense. There also could be some news or a conversation in particular that has to do with your dream that you need to pay attention to. Maybe right now, if you're not, you know, on that journey, maybe you do need to pay attention to the pregame, yet be prepared for what's to come. If there is a certain person in your life, maybe you need to really hear somebody out. I don't know why I see a gift now. Maybe somebody has a gift for you. You were just casually talking about it in a conversation or something like that. And that does not have to be a lover. That could be a friend. I feel like you were kind of like, you're like, blah, 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 blah. I don't feel like you were like fishing to like drop any hints notes or anything like that. I kind of feel like you were just blabbing, talking, you know, being you, and somebody was really paying attention to something special about what you are into, or maybe a desire to do something or have an experience. Somebody was paying more attention than you knew. And I feel like you're going to find out soon what that is. I feel like you're going to be very pleasantly surprised. And maybe some of you in this adventure, you are, maybe you weren't before, or maybe somebody else wasn't before, but now I did see that good luck flying across the room. Now you or somebody else, or perhaps you and someone else are ready to fly. Maybe this is a vacation. Maybe it's an actual plane. I did see skydiving. Maybe you're going to fly a plane. Maybe you want to be a pilot. If something was stalled or something was even a little too attached to the ground, I feel like there's a taking off now. There's also with flying, maybe a freedom or an elevated or spiritual perspective on a certain situation or a certain person or a solution. Is there anything else? And then we'll use the tarot and clarify some of these. I think I'm going to pull, this is all, I feel like all of this really connects. I'm very grateful to bring you these messages today. Live in the moment. I just like that card is like, it's almost like there's a bakery there and they're like, yeah, we can take that icing and, you know, put it on top of the cupcakes. Or how about we have the coolest thing on our storefront today? We're going to use the icing and just start drawing on it and see if that can bring people in because they never saw icing on a window. It's like you're just, literally, that's almost like that imagination kind of card. It's just living in the moment. The now is the now that you have. So what can you do now that the clock melts? Where I hear laughing. What makes you laugh? Or who makes you laugh? There's a little beep. Oh, she's gonna get loud. Hold on. Every day there is a car that goes by and they must have like a little dog that has its head out its window and it must just bark, 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 bark. Rose always hears that dog. She goes to the window, she looks out, and she barks for like 5 minutes. So I caught it pretty fast. Hopefully that wasn't too loud if you're listening on the old devices. So what's another message from the mystery? What's another mystery message? New rules. Maybe there's new rules in the game. Maybe if somebody was playing games, you're not playing that game anymore. You're creating your own rule book. Whatever I saw before with conversation and flexibility and getting back on the same page, I feel like that could be about that partnership you're thinking about or coming in, or that's just you. That could be boundaries. It could be new rules on, you know, what you will and won't do. New rules on, I hear say yes, what you're going to say yes to. I feel like for some of you, you were a little, I'm getting that nervous energy. You were a little nervous or almost like blocking yourself for blessings or prosperity or for something to grow because I'm getting like an overwhelming thought process on, but this could happen, or like kind of scenario landing. And that might not be you. Maybe this is a light bulb moment to think about something in a different way. Maybe there's a situation in your life, you got to really rewrite the rules now. Big changes are going to come in. And maybe this has to do with some unexpected help coming in. Maybe you're the person that's going to help somebody else live in the moment a little bit more, recognize how uniquely beautiful they are on their own without validation from anybody else, especially from jelly energy. Or maybe you are the unexpected help for somebody else to pay attention to how rules can be flexible. Sometimes they have to be rewritten if they weren't working. Or you could get some unexpected help on how to make that dream a reality and really start to take off. Bring some adventure that you enjoy into your life, and all of a sudden you just feel like these doors are opening up more and more and more. So do expect the unexpected. This might not be who you're thinking about. It could also be unexpected help that comes almost like a little earth angel. Maybe I heard that blah, 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 you know, before. So maybe that's not your blah, blah, blah. Maybe there's someone else just kind of casually talking about their day or a situation or adventures that they've gone on or their life experiences and different things that they have accomplished and or maybe had misfortunes with. And maybe this is where your ears prick up on a certain part of that conversation. All of a sudden, it's not like the teacher in the Peanuts gang. All of a sudden, you're hearing something and you know you were supposed to hear something, you know, beyond the blah, 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 because it's exactly what you needed to hear. It's very beneficial to you. Because I feel like for some of you, that's a conversation you're having with someone and they didn't think that it's not like their purpose was to help you. They're just blabbing away. But there is something valuable that you are going to recognize in your soul you needed to hear. I like the mystery messages today. Is there anything else? We're going to just do one more little run through on this last part of the mystery deck and see if there's anything that pops. Is there anything else helpful for the collective? You're on my mind all of the time. Maybe that's something you're going to say to someone else. Maybe this is a certain person you're thinking about and you haven't heard from them in a while, or you're not really sure if they're considering you in a situation or they're thinking about you at all. There is somebody who's thinking about you extra, not just in an ordinary way. I heard extraordinary. They think you're extraordinary. You're on my mind all of the time. There's also something here about creativity, that living in the moment. See how she looks like she's a painting. It's like maybe there was something that was almost a painting or a picture in someone's mind, and instead of it just being in the fantasy, there's something about it breaking into reality or becoming real. You're on my mind all of the time. I feel like for some of you, this woman might even look like somebody you know. She's beautiful, by the way, if you know who that is. There's something about somebody's lips and maybe their eyes. But it doesn't have to look like this woman. I feel like when you speak, there's somebody that you can kind of see when they're looking at you. They're either kind of following your mouth. Different people have different things they are attracted to. Also here I see her, this thing. What is that? The décolletage. Either somebody's kind of looking at your neck or like this little area, the lips, or your eyes. So let's continue. Let's see. I'm gonna pull the two I have here, even though a lot of these are kind of making me feel like we should at least pull a few love cards, just because you do have friends and lovers here. I know not everybody is watching for a love reading, but let's see. First, let's pull one of these. This is the Moonology. What is a Moonology message on, ready to fly now. New rules. Maybe somebody was afraid to leave the nest, you know? Or somebody kind of had to leave that little baby bird in the nest to know that they could fly the whole time. Maybe some of you have children that are getting to be that age where they're ready to, you know, fly the coop, so to speak. You know, they're like heading towards that college age, or maybe even just in that age where you don't need to, you know, pack their lunch every day. They're starting to kind of have their own things going on, maybe like teenage years or whatever, where they kind of don't want you to hold their hand so much anymore. You know, that would change the rules. That's not a message for all of you. Maybe for some of you, if you do have someone that's maybe starting to drive or something like that, you do need to set some rules. You know, you have to be home by this. You have to call me then. That was kind of an interesting thing to slip through. It's definitely not all of your situation, but I kind of feel like that's even some of you that are going to be in a relationship. You're like, look, you need to call me when you get there. Just call me when your flight lands so I know you're good. Let's see. What else would be helpful? These aren't really flippers, so let's just flip one. Meditate and contemplate. It's a new moon in Pisces. So there is a beginning. Maybe some of you had, you know, I saw the dark before, right? Maybe some of you also have Pisces in your chart. I feel like there's something kind of interesting about a Pisces. Sometimes you feel like you have a handle on them, and it's like that fish. Like, try to hold a fish. They like slip right out of your hands. You're like, man, where did it go? So maybe something did kind of slip out of your hands. You got to figure out a different approach. I also feel like there's something where you're connecting to someone where maybe a school. You're connecting to someone at school. Because this is giving me a little yin-yang energy. Maybe it's balance between masculine and feminine. Also, if anyone did kind of go away for a little while, maybe it's just that Pisces kind of energy, where Pisces is the only, it's the only water sign that doesn't have a big old shell on. You know, the crab has that big shell. You know, the exoskeleton of the scorpion. The fish is just kind of bare ass naked out there in, whether it's a koi pond or the big scary deep ocean of emotion. So all of those little ripples, the tiniest little ripple or a big whale going by, like, make those energetic waves that the Pisces can feel. So they don't always recognize that sometimes they are feeling energy that is not their energy, but they know something's feeling weird over there with that jellyfish. You know, there's a sensitivity, and sometimes a Pisces, it is a little like a Virgo. Virgos tend to do this too, and they're opposites. But sometimes they have to process, need to process and reboot all of that energy that they felt, so they feel comfortable to like get back out there. So sometimes both of those signs do tend to do a little disappearing act for a little bit, because they need to just get back their own energy and figure out what is their energy and what is energy they are feeling that is absolutely not theirs, and reboot and be strong within themselves to get back out there. So I would say, if that's you, and somebody doesn't know you that well, that no, like, they're gonna come back in like 3 days. Just let them go. They're just doing their thing. Then maybe it's having a conversation with somebody so they don't take something personally, but maybe it's about you not taking something personally. If somebody's not necessarily that sign, but just kind of in that vibe, or they just need a little space to figure something out. They're doing a little meditating, you know, to turn on that inner light so they can see the writing on the dark wall. So they know the step that's ahead of them. So they know which direction they feel comfortable with going. I hope that made sense. Let's go to this one because I brought it out. This is the guides from the hidden realms. So we saw that, you know, in the dark here, or the roots growing under the surface. A new moon is a time to begin something. Pisces, moon. Maybe it's about your moon sign. I always feel like your moon sign, it's emotions. So you could be very logical about how you go about doing something. But if your moon sign is in, you know, a different sign than your sun, sometimes they're the same or similar. But I always see the moon sign as, if you get a phone call and it's really happy news or something really weird, it's how you instantly emotionally react before you had time to do the processing. So maybe somebody did react out of character because of maybe information or something that changed. Maybe somebody is reassessing their actions or inactions. I don't know. Let's see. What would be helpful from the guides, from the hidden realms, for the collective watching this reading today? Please and thank you. Order. I saw all that tree energy in the roots. You have order in the forest. That's also a beautiful place. If you have a forest near you, it could be a beach as well, but something where there's nature, the elements of nature, that is an amazing place to meditate. Hear the birds, you know. I don't know, I see a bunch of flowers, which you don't usually see in the middle of the forest. But I see like I actually see almost like a little, what is that, like a fairy circle or something, where in the middle of the forest, all of a sudden there's this weird like opening where it's like a tiny little field that really shouldn't be there. Why aren't there trees at this one little spot in the forest? Maybe the energy is different. Maybe it has to do with the past. But I see that, like you're walking in the forest and you come to just this area where it's maybe tall grass, but maybe some wildflowers, but not the canopy of trees. There's something about this particular place getting different growth or sunlight, or maybe it's about a blank slate. I don't know why I see a meadow. Let me see. My glasses. I brought my ones that matched my the green lady right here. All right, so order in the forest. It's also number 11. I think, did I see that? Did I say something about 1111 on this reading? I feel like I said that. It's releasing resentments, cleansing, and making amends. It's forgiveness. So if you were holding on to anything from the past, and maybe this is just that little unexpected help or that thing you need to pay attention to right now, to forgive and to, you know, release is so beneficial for you and your soul. You can't change somebody's actions. You can't make somebody learn when, you know, they don't want to, or they're not ready to, or they don't have the self-awareness to do so. And sometimes people do regret a situation and do change their approach or their rules to make changes in their life, and sometimes they do not. But to hold on to anyone else is just keeping that tethering energy to that situation or to that lower vibration, and it's stopping you from having momentum in the right direction. So forgive. And if this is forgiving yourself, forgive yourself. We're human. We're not perfect, and everybody messes up. And it could also be that there was somebody who is a little resentful, maybe even a little petty, and maybe that person has a cleansing energy, or that person has had some unexpected help in their life to maybe recognize if they were projecting too much energy out there towards others, or what others have, or what others do not have, or something like that. And maybe they're starting to look at their own uniqueness in a different way. It could also be the other way. You know, if somebody is only in their own mind, only sees their own thoughts, and a little more of, I don't want to say the word, like more of a little narcissistic, you know, kind of energy, like only into themselves, and they just cannot see outside of themselves at all, then maybe it's just having awareness of that, cleansing the energy and going to where there's healthier vibes around you. But maybe there's somebody who's maybe starting to pay attention to their ways and making some changes. I don't think that's everybody's situation though. But there is something that's going to be rather cleansing about either getting back on the same page with a certain person, or taking some time out to see your own actions or inactions. And I'm getting conversation can make a really big difference on something, especially if there was non-clarity. Wow, that was a lot for the mystery deck. I do want to pull you at least one love message. I do have it. Let's do the pink one. It's like the combination. So it's the romance and love and whispering heart. So let's just get you a little romance. I just heard a romance reminder. Maybe some of you need to be reminded to add a little space in your life. And even if you are single and ready to mingle, or single and love doing your own thing, maybe it's just that overall romantic energy. Like, you know, bubble bath, some candles, put some rose petals in the bath, get yourself smelling good. Like, it's kind of like romancing yourself. And I just thought of romancing the stone. That totally ages me. All I can think of when I think about that movie is when she has her fancy ass high heel shoes, you know, and she's with the guy in the middle of the jungle. And he's like, yeah, you don't need those. And like, he takes his machete and he chops off her other heel. He goes, there you go, now you can walk. And she's like, those are like expensive shoes or whatever, but you couldn't walk before. So there's something about, maybe you needed to adjust something, especially if you were kind of like wobbly, something was out of balance. Maybe you do need to have a cleansing energy and chop something away, or recognize if there's certain people, places, or things, or mindset in your life that are keeping you off balance. Maybe that's those new rules. You know, you took your fancy shoes to the jungle. You didn't know you needed I just saw Birkenstocks. Or like, you know, the really good sneakers, or like the hiking boots, especially if you're going through a forest, because, you know, you're going through some tall grass. You want to have some good boots. Wow, these messages are kind of all over the place today, and I love it. I love it. If you guys have seen Romancing the Stone, can you just put a little comment in the comments section? I want to see if any of you guys remember that movie, or if it's just maybe my age group that knows it. You could probably find a bunch of clips now on YouTube. You're on the right path. I like that. I guess I just saw her in the path in the jungle. Love is beautiful. Where's your adventure? Love is a beautiful journey. Sometimes you're going to hit a rough road. Sometimes you're going to be at the peak of the mountain and then zip line on down. And sometimes you need to get in that tent or the fort because it's raining. Or you got to trek on and put the raincoat on. Love is a beautiful journey. And you are on the right path. Step by step. That's your love message. I'm not going to get too wrapped up in the
We got a lot of cards here. So let's go to the tarot. I'm going to go grab a specific deck. I'll be right back. Hold on. All right, let's go to the tarot. I don't know. I kept seeing this one in my mind. It's a very pretty deck. This is the Light Seers. It's kind of similar to the Muse Tarot, but it's a little bit different. So let's clarify some of these. But first, let's get one overall energy vibration message for you right now today. What is the main focus for the collective watching this reading now to pay attention to? What is the main thing to know about and pay attention to today? Please and thank you. As Roses, she's giving me the eye. She's looking at me. I see you. That one. You have the Empress. What are you ready to give birth to? Maybe some of you are having a new family member coming in. But this is also in connection to the world. The world of opportunity is there, is in your hands. Maybe there's something that, like, you feel it in your gut. You feel that there's something you should be doing. There's some kind of connection also. There's a moon here. Maybe it's the next moon cycle. The Empress is so beautiful. She's all of the queens combined. All of them. She has attributes and, you know, personality facets of anything, you know. She's a smart cookie. She's good at making plans, having good conversation. She's emotional and nurturing and empathetic and naturally psychic. She's practical and logical and earthy and grounded. And she's got that fiery energy where she just walks into a room and you're like, what? Did an Empress just walk into my house? Or did an Empress just walk into the room? Maybe that's how somebody feels about you. That's a divine feminine energy. There's something different about the Empress. The Empress doesn't have to have an emperor. The Empress can run as many kingdoms as she chooses. There's something amazing about how the Empress can multitask. The Empress says something and she manifests it. She makes it happen. The Empress is extremely creative. The Empress is also someone that is always evolving, always sort of changing. She's constantly rewriting the rules of her or his life, but it's definitely someone in feminine energy, where once something new happens, there's a new chapter, there are new people, there's a new project, there's a new family member, there's a baby, whatever it is, there's a new business she wants to create. She's flexible on how to adjust something. She knows when to keep the rules and when to throw it out the window, throw that rule book out. The Empress is just someone, I mean, I'm just going to peek at her upside down. She just has to remember how valuable she is. How beautiful she is in her own way. Because sometimes the Empress does have such a beautiful, kind, loving heart. Her soul is so beautiful that sometimes she sees somebody who's a fixer-upper and sees the best in them, but accepts less than she deserves. Sometimes the Emperor is such a giver that she forgets to give back to her, to take a day off, to take a bubble bath, put those roses, you know, in the bath for herself. This could be a mother or grandmother, a matriarch. If this isn't you, this could be somebody that you are thinking about, that is on your mind all of the time. You just find this person beautiful. The Empress is just gorgeous. But there is something about you connecting to others in the world, or connecting with someone who's maybe a different ethnicity, or from a different place in the world, or has maybe even different values that they grew up with. But there's still this energetic connection. 3 is a creative number. There's something about you connecting to someone else or you connecting to a project. It's like you and something outside of you where together these energies merge into something amazing. That's what you need to pay attention to. Something that you want to give birth to, something that you want to begin, something that maybe you made plans on but never pursued, something that you know is already grounded, but you have to maybe adjust the rules to have something grow differently. I just heard you can do it. You can do it. It was almost like what was the pregame? It was almost like an advertisement. Like, you can do it. Maybe you do something with advertising. Maybe advertising for some of you is important. If you have a business or something like that. I did see you, like, you know, putting icing on your your window here. Maybe some of you have a bakery or you want to start a business. It's all about kind of something really different. There's something unusual about how you advertise that is not like anybody else. It's like your own thing. Maybe even others said, oh no, that won't work. And yet it will. I'm not getting that it's complicated. I'm getting that it's kind of simple. I just heard simplicity is key. I don't know what that is. Hopefully that makes sense to you. So let's ask now about the unexpected help. Let's see what that is. Tell us about unexpected help, that you're getting unexpected help on how to release something, let something go, look towards the light, be in the energy of adventure and thriving, to move towards that new you and who you are becoming and growing into, and out of an old cycle. The death card is, it's death and it's interesting, rebirth. There's something about the old way not working anymore, or you're not really working out in an old environment or an old partnership or that old you. You know you're ready to fly now. So don't get stuck at the crossroads. Don't get stuck in what was. Turn your head around and look towards where you're going now, what you get to do now, what you are becoming now, where you are now. Because this is a brand new energy. It's that light at the end of the tunnel. You know, if you were turned around, you only saw the darkness over here. This is you turning around, seeing that light, taking steps towards it and not looking back. This is usually where something is done. This could also be a Scorpio. I did see Pisces before, so maybe it's about a water sign. Death and rebirth. Upside down, it's like growing out of growing out of your old favorite outfit. It really just doesn't fit at all. It has stains all over the place. It's ripped and kind of fallen off of you, and you insist on putting it, you insist on putting on those big pants, except they're not really the pants that fit you. I just saw somebody like, I love when I get just weird random ass. The guy said something about imagination before. Somebody like putting on pants that like they didn't want to, you know, the waistband, like the elastic's completely gone, and they walk out and their pants just fall down in cartoon style. You know, I see somebody's like bare ass. I saw something about the Pisces being bare ass naked. Maybe it's about feeling naked in your authentic skin. Maybe there was something that's falling off, and that's more of a mask than a pair of pants. If also, I'm getting an extra message as well. If some of you, I don't think that this has happened, like maybe fairly recently, but I'm definitely getting with this that it's past energy. Maybe if some of you know somebody that lost somebody close to them, kind of recently or maybe years ago, or that is you, I do feel like there's a deep healing that's coming in. I am seeing that maybe somebody had a little regret. They didn't say what they wanted to when the person was around. Maybe somebody's carrying some guilt. That's kind of an extra message. If that is you and you're carrying around guilt, like you never got to say I love you, or you had an argument, you know, the last time you saw that person, it's a friend or whatever, and you never got to get back on the same page, you never got to, you know, have a chance to have that conversation, just have that conversation with them now. Whoever that person is, they don't carry that resentment there on the other side in spirit. I hear somebody telling you I love you and it's okay. Like they're okay. You're okay. So if you're carrying any kind of hurt or resentment that you wish you would have done something, that is a big thing to heal from. But energy just changes form. It's not gone in that sense, you know? So I do feel like some of you also may be having a dream about maybe a grandmother, or I don't know why I see a past partner. Maybe some of you are I never know what's going to come through. I feel like some of you might be a widower. I think that's how you say it, or a widow. And I do feel like somebody's going to visit you in a dream. That dream's going to feel very vivid, very real, and it's going to be very healing. And that person is coming in just to let you know they're okay. They're okay. And I heard, and you're on your way. I feel like if some of you do have somebody that passed over, they are actually helping you out. They're helping you out with this dream. Getting back out there. Thriving again, living again. I just heard get off the couch, or getting off the couch. Maybe some of you feel like you're kind of stagnant, a little complacent. And if that does not feel like you, and you're like, yeah, I'm never on the couch, I don't have time unless I pass out because I'm so busy, then I do feel like you are that helping factor for someone else, and or just inspiration. Sometimes it's not you having to help or having to fix. It's just you being you is inspiring to someone. Maybe somebody was paying more attention to your flow or your creativity, or how you follow through even if something doesn't work out. And maybe you are a great inspiration for somebody. Maybe a lot of people. If some of you somehow connect to anybody here, like in the world, you have a platform, I feel like some of you make a bigger difference in the world. I'm getting a big healer than you know. Proud of you. You're probably a light worker, and you are you're definitely on the right path. Yeah, I want to high five you right now. I want to high five you and then give you a hug. Yeah, all right, let's get something else. Let's ask about the new rules. Tell us about why there are new rules right now. What are these new rules about? They might not be your new rules. Maybe they're somebody else's. Somebody's inspired. Somebody has their mind on fire. I just heard sex on fire. It was weird to come through. I mean, you got this sassy energy here. Technically, I mean, the Ace of Wands is a very masculine energy. It's like it's a big old heart-on from the universe. It's a showing, like, what is that? But it's here. It's a fire in your pineal gland. So it's a different kind of sparkle here. The Ace of Wands is that idea. It's that idea for that adventure. It's that idea for that dream that you want to ground. It's that fire in your belly, you know, to be a go-getter, to do something, to make something happen. But if it's upside down, it's letting that spiritual fire in your soul fizzle away. And it's never really going to fizzle away if it's your destiny, if it's your like soul's calling dream kind of energy. It's always going to still be there. Even if you think you put a damper on it, it's going to still like sneak on back in your gut that you should be doing something or making moves in a certain direction, or, you know, putting a little more fuel on that fire to keep it lit so it gets bigger. There's also something, there's like a net here. It's like a fishing net. Maybe some of you fish, or you felt like you got caught in a net. I'm also feeling, I feel like somebody, maybe you didn't want to be a big fish in a little pond. And I'm also seeing that maybe there was someone, I don't want to say like kind of like hooked on you. I just heard hooked on a feeling. Hooked on a feeling. I'm high on believing that you're in love with me. I can't think of who sings that. Lips as sweet as candy. You're always on my mind. I think that's the next line. Girl, you got me thirsty for another glass of wine. Interesting. All right, let's clarify, because this is a beginning. Let's clarify your beginning here. You have an ending, you have a beginning. With every ending comes a new beginning. It looks like this beginning's rather creative, rather passionate, and there's a lot of enthusiasm. We're going to take these. Maybe it took a while to come. Maybe you felt like you had to defend yourself over these new rules, or why your adventures are changing. I like that it's the Knight of Pentacles, because that's that step by step. It's a journey. You have been leaving these seeds behind you. You're also leaving the seeds behind that you don't need. You have one that is attached to your back that is the most important one you want to bring with you. That's usually an offer. It's something tangible. It could be an experience, a person, a place, a thing. But I like that this particular knight is walking their horse. You're giving your horse a little break-a-roo. It does say to meditate. This is definitely the knight that knows how to get on that horse and gallop away if they have to, but they also know when to take off their shoes, ground themselves with earth, connect with nature, let their horse drink some water and eat some hay, and then know when it's time to get back to work. This is the knight that wins the race. It's usually an earthy sign. So Virgo, Capricorn, Taurus, it doesn't have to be. But this is the knight that sometimes works so hard behind a closed door, takes their homework home at night. You just see those results. You see that beautiful tree, or that garden, or that field of wildflowers, but maybe they weren't wild. Maybe they were purposefully planted to look wild. I don't know why I'm getting wild world now. Baby, baby, it's wild world. Getting all these songs at the end. But there's flexibility with that night. I did say something before about somebody being on the couch and being a little complacent. Sometimes that's at night. If he's upside down, or she, it's somebody that gets a little too lazy because the results didn't happen fast enough, or they feel imbalanced rather than getting back into balance by making some adjustments where necessary. Or it's, you know, the night that they think they have to run on empty, or run on that horse until the horse doesn't have a break. I don't know why I see somebody wanting to plow the field and then there's weird weather and they want to continue. Just, you know, take a break, go home, meditate, take a bubble bath, and go back tomorrow when it's sunny. there's adjustment that's needed. But this is usually the knight that knows how to get the job done. They have a tangible offer. Maybe it is now where somebody feels at peace and in that meditative state about where to take action upon, where before they felt like they were always on the defense. Where's your game? Always had to defend why they had to do it. Maybe you don't have to, explain anything to anyone. Maybe that's part of the new rules. Where is your, what was I looking for? Maybe you have to pay attention to if anybody's coming at you or feeling combative towards you. That's all their own reflection. That should never put shade on your own direction or your vibe. You know, that star energy shining inside of you. You're in this snow globe energetic ball of protection. Nothing can, I feel like if there's weird energy, jelly energy, whatever, it's going to go boing, return to sender, bounce back to them. And if somebody has the curiosity or inspiration, even if their vibe is a little bit different, but their intention is true, they're going to get a reflection of you that maybe whether they expected it or knew that they needed it, get a little burst of your light that's actually going to heal them, help them. Maybe even for some of you, it's giving somebody else permission that because you've done something your own unique way, that they too don't have to follow the rules of, I don't know, getting the status quo or society or how their parents taught them, what their friends said they had to do. You know, everyone else's rules might not work for another individual. There is this one that is getting a little closer to you than the other ones. But you have the elevated perspective here. You have the spiritual perspective. You have the higher ground. And the way to handle everything is to find your center. You don't have to defend yourself. You don't have to feel like you have to battle it out. This is knowing that you are strong enough if you need to speak up or need to, I guess, defend yourself, but I feel like you don't have to. I feel like this person is looking the other way, turning the other cheek, and they're like, you can believe whatever you want. I know my truth. I just saw like mic drop. Mic drop. So, you know, others can gain a different perspective or not. Up to them. It's at the bottom. Yeah, maybe that's the perspective. You see how everyone's trying to get up to the top? There's only one that's reaching that spiritual light. Maybe there's somebody that just wants to be the winner. I want to be the first. I want to be the best. The Five of Wands is kind of a weird energy. It's definitely energy that would be jelly. It's definitely a lot of competition. Sometimes it's too many cooks in the kitchen, man. Too many cooks in the kitchen. You know, we have to go by the recipe. You're all adding salt, and now there's way too much salt. Maybe it's salt on the wound instead of maybe a little honey's better. But it could also be where just people are not seeing eye to eye in a certain environment. Maybe that's why somebody needs to have this peaceful approach. If everyone has their own freaking agenda here and their own personal way of seeing something and they never want to see the other person's perspective, something isn't going to build. It's never going to get anywhere. It's just like a big old chaos, dramatic, mucky mess all of the freaking time. So maybe it is somebody leaving that energy. Unless it's here, then that was before even the pregame. That was a scrimmage match where you are around a person who loves you and sees you as on their team, but believes that you can be better. So, you know, you put on different colors and you play that scrimmage match so you get ready for the big game. So you get ready. It's like, I don't know why I just saw somebody doing sides. I see like a coach energy. I actually just did see an actor, but maybe somebody is a coach. You know, maybe that coach is a little tough, but they believe in their team or they believe in their student. So there was a reason you had it run 4 extra laps when you were 10 minutes late to rehearsal or to, what do they call that? Practice. And there's also something about you looking back and seeing that tough coach, that tough teacher, maybe even that tough person in your life that was a little bit of a possibly karmic or possibly, it's like a rubbing the wrong way kind of energy, may have been a blessing to help your soul grow, to see where you can go, where you're not rubbed the wrong way. You know, that divine friction energy is sometimes necessary to get in a different direction. I kind of feel like with all these other cards here, you are, wherever you are in your journey, you're really pacing yourself according to the energetic weather or the page that you are in. You know, the surface or the playing field of the current moment, the current now, the current chapter in your adventure. And I sort of feel like for some of you, there could be somebody that feels like they're being left behind, but they're not doing something on their own to go their own way. I see somebody moving really strong, and I see like strings behind somebody, and somebody's like holding on to the strings, but they're not walking with them. It's like they're dead weight or like a dragging kind of energy. If that was anyone behind you, I feel like you do need to cut those strings. I also feel like when you cut those strings, somebody might fall down, kind of like a tug of war thing, but that might be a necessary tough teacher coach, situation where somebody needs to fall down to recognize they can get back up. It's kind of different. Let's get you one message from the universe. This was kind of a long reading today. You got a big one today. So let's get a final message from the universe for the collective. What is the final message that would be helpful today? Please and thank you. You got two messages from the universe coming right up. Oh, these glasses are so dirty. Oh my gosh. All right. Love yourself more by saying no. No. No to things that feel draining. Whatever I saw that was hanging behind you, anything where you just feel drained. You feel like it was, the drama just makes you want to go and lock yourself in the bathroom. And I'm meditating in here, meditating in the bathroom right now, let it go. That's letting that past go. Where's your Scorpio energy? So you can feel rebooted, revived, energized, ready for that adventure that you really desire to be on. If you feel that anything in your life is draining or burdening for you, saying no when you want to say no, instead of, that would be the upside down Empress. Wanting to say no, but trying to make everyone else happy. And forgetting to love herself or have her own boundaries. That's not usually the Empress. The Empress can say no. I mean, she's an Empress. She's going to be like, you're not going to go in my energy. Sorry. I just saw like somebody doing like talk to the hand. I felt like I just went back to junior high. Instead of saying yes to please other people, you're never going to please everyone. So this might not even be you. Maybe there's someone around you that kind of a people pleaser. That's, maybe even how they felt like they were loved growing up. Not everyone is given unconditional love. Some people feel like if they're they're like the quarterback, or they're the valedictorian, or they got the A in the test, or they took out the garbage today, like then they are loved. And that's usually childhood wounds, and that is that's a thing that is a big soul lesson. But I do feel like for some of you, if you are connecting to someone like that, or maybe if someone has certain actions where you know they're doing something that they're not really into, but they keep saying yes, or enabling somebody else. It could be somebody that has something really going back to their childhood and or past lives that they are working out. And I do see that as it will be healed, but I don't think that's a instant healing kind of situation. That's a process. And to say no sometimes is a real act of self-love. It's a big message at the end here, guys. Things are going to be turned in your favor. Well, yeah, we're going to go back to this because, yeah, you're going to have good luck fast. Things are going to be turned in your favor. People that were against you, it's this way, are all of a sudden, maybe that's somebody we need on our team. Maybe somebody was threatened because you come in and you became the star, or you got that project that they wanted, or maybe somebody had a crush on somebody and all of a sudden their crush is into you. But maybe all of a sudden they actually learn who you are and they're like, oh, I have a crush on you too now. You know, like all of a sudden some things, you have unexpected help. Maybe you don't even know what this is, but something is happening with God's help to work out in your favor. For some of you, that is something healing. For some of you, it's getting you in a different place where it's not so hard. People that were against you, all of a sudden are for you. All of a sudden, the ones that were a little, giving you where's your jelly? We're a little jelly in their energy are all of a sudden like, oh, I want that to be my bestie, or that's the coolest person ever, or I'm so happy I got to know them, or I'm so happy I opened my mind to see somebody beyond what they are on the surface, or what they perceive them to be on the surface. Ideas, creativity, promotion contracts, I did see commercials before, right, are going to all of a sudden come into your hands. So pay attention. I did see that slippery fish before. If you have something that feels like spiritual fire in your hands, whether that's an experience, a person, a project, whatever that is, that fiery energy, keep that fire lit. Keep it lit. If it's stepping up to bat, where's your game? I get to the end of these readings and I'm a big old, like a big old freaking mess. I don't know where your game is, your pregame. This. And you're not stepping up to bat. It's time to step up to bat, get off the bench. If that's not your game, leave the stadium. Exit stage left. Go to a different arena. Go into the forest or the jungle. If you're up there in that little nest, you have to leap to see that you can fly. For this, I bid you adieu. This was a long and beautiful reading, and I feel so grateful. Ooh, I just knocked it off with my boob. I got to do this reading for you today. I love you so much. Thank you for being here, and I hope something came through that was helpful. I very much look forward to seeing you mañana. Mwah. Bye.